What's up, home bartenders? We've got a whole bunch of fresh mint here, it's looking nice and fresh. So let's make some juleps. All right, let's do it.
Let's start off with the classic bourbon mint julep. We want to start with about 7 to 10 mint leaves. We got our julep cup here. We're going to use some crushed ice. Start with a half an ounce of simple syrup. I know traditionally they use like powdered sugar and water, but simple syrup is already made. 2 ounces of bourbon using Woodford Reserve. I believe that's the kind of official bourbon of the mint julep. And then optionally, you can add a couple dashes of Angostura bitters. I don't think it's classic, but I like it. Okay, grab your spoon, give it a quick mix. I don't like to muddle. I don't think most cocktails you don't need to muddle mint because it's so delicate. If you kind of break it up too much, you get bitter notes. So there's enough agitation here in the drink to work that mint and get that flavor out. Look at that frost starting on the outside of the glass already. Let's get more crushed ice and we're gonna build that snow cone top. That's the classic look for the mint julep. Grab your straw and a nice thick bouquet of mint. There's your garnish.
The classic mint julep. Oh my God. Oh man, this is so nice. If you're looking for a refreshing summer drink that doesn't have citrus, because most refreshing summer drinks have citrus of some sort. If you like just sipping bourbon neat, or like you like old fashions, but it's just, those are a little too, I don't know what the word is, not summery, this is the drink for you. This is like basically a minty old fashioned served over crushed ice. And you would think that this much crushed ice would dilute the drink quickly, and it totally doesn't. I've had mint juleps outside in the sun, and you still get at least 15-20 minutes before the drink starts becoming a little diluted. In the sun, inside, much longer than that. Because the ice, basically, like now it's like it's not even crushed ice anymore. It's solidified into one big chunk, and it keeps the bourbon really, really nice and cold, and alcohol has a lower freezing point. So it's actually lowering it below the point of freezing, which means that the ice is not melting yet because the bourbon is actually colder than the ice. It's sweet, it's stiff bourbon, it just has a minty flavor. The Angostura, not needed, but adds a nice spice to it. Like I said, it's basically a minty old fashioned served over ice. The perfect refreshing drink. Oh, and you don't have to get one of these metal tin julep cups, but it definitely helps and it looks great. So if you want to try these, if you like mint juleps, definitely get one.
Next up, the Georgia Mint Julep. We're adding peaches to this one. So we've got some mint, of course. We've got our julep cup. We're gonna do 2 ounces of bourbon. I'm using Buffalo Trace for this one. That's probably my favorite bourbon. All right. After that, homemade peach liqueur. We want an ounce of peach liqueur. There's that recipe. You can check that out. Whatever you have, peach schnapps, peach liqueur, whatever you got, into our glass. We're then going to do just a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. You can probably omit that. It really depends on the sweetness of your peach liqueur. You can even add peach syrup if you want it. A couple dashes of Angostura. Then just like before, we're going to give that a mixy mix. Agitate that mint to really extract the flavor. You don't need to muddle. A little bit of crushed ice. And then we're going to mix that all around until the frost starts forming on the outside of the glass. Get that snow cone top. Garnish up with some peaches and mint.
The Georgia Mint Julep. Basically bourbon and peach. Bourbon and peach go really well together. I know a bunch of cocktails with peach and bourbon, and it always works. Oh my God. That rich, sweet bourbon, and then that peach flavor, peach and mint together work really nice. It's not overly sweet, but I went with like a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. I probably didn't even need the simple syrup. It depends on the sweetness of your schnapps, of your peach liqueur, but just kind of play it by ear. You can even go with a peach, omit the schnapps and do a peach syrup if that's all you have. literally use the syrup from like a can of peaches, that'll probably work. I don't think it'll be as good, but it'll work. Some recipe I've seen for the Georgia Mint Julep doesn't serve it in a julep cup, serves it in a highball and then adds some soda water. You could try that. I don't think it's a julep at that point. I think it's more of a highball. I like it served mint julep style, and I don't think it needs the soda water.
Next up, we're making the mint julep from Jerry Thomas's Bartender's Guide 1862. This one starts with mint leaves. We've got about a tablespoon of powdered sugar. Mix that with a splash of water. Next up, we want half a wine glass of cognac. I gotta assume that's about 2 ounces. Wine glasses I guess were small back then. All right, let's get that crushed ice in there. Start mixing up everything. Now the garnish here is really important. We need that snow cone top. Then we want to arrange an orange slice and berries in a tasty manner. We're also gonna dust the top with some powdered sugar. Oh, and I did forget, there is a dash of Jamaican rum. We'll get to that. And in Jerry Thomas's own words, you have a julep that is fit for an emperor.
Jerry Thomas's 1862 mint julep. Oh my God, we totally forgot the rum float. How could I forget that? So I'll put it in the description, and yeah. But the recipe does say that a splash or a dash of Jamaican rum is a nice addition to this one. And I don't know why I totally forgot this time, because of course we're using Smith & Cross because it's the greatest rum in the world. And it adds this aroma of not just mint, but now you're getting that funky Jamaican Smith & Cross rum. And it does blend with the rich cognac. Cognac's still up front, but you get that Jamaican rum funk. Oh, it's so nice. This one's amazing. Make this one, and don't skip on the garnish. It's part of the experience. Do it.
Our last one today, the Heather Julep. This one calls for Scotch. We're using 3 kinds of Scotch. So we're starting with our mint, of course. We want 2 ounces of blended Scotch. It actually called for 2.5 ounces of Scotch, but I figured if we're going 2.5, why not make that last half ounce a single malt Islay Scotch? It's gonna give you a wonderful smoky character. And then for our third Scotch, we're using Drambuie, which is a Scotch-based liqueur with wonderful honey and spices. And then lastly, we're also gonna do about a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Again, you can omit that, depends on how sweet you like it. All right, mixy mix until everything starts to frost on the outside. More crushed ice, snow cone top, of course. And this one just gets a classic mint garnish.
The Heather Julep. So this one's Scotch-based. Basically, the recipe says 2.5 ounces of Scotch, 1/2 ounce of Drambuie. I figured if we're gonna do 2.5 ounces, do 2 ounces of your kind of cheap blended Scotch, and then 1/2 ounce of a nice single malt Islay. I used Ardbeg because it'll give it that really awesome smokiness. Let's try it. Oh my God. This one starts with like sweet whiskey, mint. You know, that first second of a sip is like you think you're just drinking a standard bourbon mint julep, and then you get punched in the face with that smoke, and you're like, oh, we're in Scotch territory. Oh man, that's good. Oh yeah. Sweetness from the Drambuie. You get the rich honey. I think that's why it's called Heather Julep. Heather honey is the honey that's used in Drambuie. If I'm wrong about that, I'll write the description better. But yeah, the Drambuie gives it that rich honey sweetness and some nice kind of herbal spices. But man, the Scotch and the smoke, that's what's up front. Obviously, if you're not using a smoky Scotch, you're not gonna get that, but I recommend using a smoky Scotch because that's what it's all about. All right, well, how to rate these bad boys, because these are all really good. I'm a huge fan of mint juleps, and there hasn't been a variation that I tried that I didn't really like. And yeah, they're just so good. So In first place, I'm actually gonna give it to the Jerry Thomas 1862 Julep. I just love the rich cognac and then that Smith & Cross funk. And again, everything about the presentation, I'm a huge fan of it. And so yeah, everything about it just adds to the experience of the drink, and it's a great julep. In second place, I think I'm gonna give it to the Classic Mint Julep with bourbon. Hot summer day, I feel like, and I've got like nice fresh mint growing in the backyard, and I feel like having a julep, I typically just go for the standard. So gonna give that guy in second place. Third place, going for the Heather Julep, because as much as bourbon is the classic flavor for a julep, some smoky Scotch is just amazing. So definitely give it a try. And in last place, but certainly not least, the Georgia Julep with that addition of that peach schnapps or peach liqueur just adds an extra layer of flavor and sweetness to a classic bourbon mint julep. And yeah, these are all pretty fantastic. If you've never had a julep, guys, I recommend it. Make a julep. They're really good. They're not what you'd expect. I remember always thinking, putting bourbon with that much crushed ice is just going to end up being diluted, watered down bourbon, and certainly not, at least not for the first like 15-20 minutes. You definitely have a lot of time to enjoy your mint julep before it starts melting. And you should be drinking a cocktail within the first 15-20 minutes anyways. You should be on your second drink already by then. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to see more mint cocktails, we got a whole playlist of mint cocktails right there. So if you're growing mint and you want to know what to do with it, we've got you covered. If you want to see more summer drinks, we've got you covered there too. Check out this playlist full of summer cocktails. Otherwise, guys, we will see you in the next one. Cheers.